This is the water cooling kit from Magicool. Now, as far as I know, there's not many videos on YouTube about this water cooling system, so I'm gonna do this video in as much detail as I possibly can. Now, I may repeat myself a few times in this video. It's simply because I did this video in a day and at different times, so I do apologise if I do repeat certain hints and tips and so on. So this kit costs around £65, and that's a full water cooling kit that will cool your CPU. And I don't understand why there isn't more reviews about this kit, because people have probably been put off buying it because it's so cheap. But if you watch all this video, you're going to be very surprised in just how good the quality of the kit is, and the temperature results as well at the end of the video, which they're really impressive. I'll just tell you quickly now. Before, when I was air cooled on max load, I was getting I think it was around about 67 Celsius. After applying this water cooling kit, I was getting 47, something like that. And then when I changed the fluid to my own fluid that I made, I got a temperature of 41. Now, you're probably not going to believe me, and you probably won't believe the tests and results I do, but I can assure you they are all real. There's no going on. People that are subscribers to my channel will know. I'm really trusted. I'm not going to start lying to you. I'm getting nothing out of making this video apart from the views I get. So now you've had a look at the kit. We'll carry on to the next. Now here I am simply making distilled water so I can clean out the radiators before I install it. I will show how to make your own coolant in another video, so you should always do this. Okay, so I'm just pouring the distilled water that I made into the radiator. This is just to clean out any rubbish that has been left in the radiator after it was made in the factories. You should always, this particular radiator I didn't have any bits of dirt in, but they can have dirt in, so it's always best to do this so it doesn't block up your pump. Okay, so don't put anything else apart from distilled water in your radiator. I will show, like I say in another video, how to make distilled water. It's very easy. It's very easy to make. Okay, so as you can see, I've just put it all in. I'm doing a push-pull configuration with the radiator. Now, the fan that comes with this, I've put behind it. Why it is an okay fan, it doesn't look as nice as my Zalman one, so I'll put the Zalman one on the front. This is taking air from in the case out. Put the water block on. This is for AM3 fitting. I couldn't use the original back plate that was already on my motherboard. It's just straight through bolts with little washers on. As you can see them there, the little red ones. There's some on the other side. I'll see if I can just show you. There you go. Not the best way of doing it, but it will do the job, and it will be okay, because there's not a lot of pressure on this, because you will be getting the springs. And this is where I'm going to mount the pump, in the bottom of that drive there for now. And so now I can cut all my tubing up to the right size, and then take all this out, connect it all up, and do a leak test. Okay, so moment of truth, and
we're now just going to do a leak test. I'm going to use the original fluid. I will be changing it for my own fluid because this has dye in it, and this eventually will clog up your and that's another problem we've got. So I'm just going to see, I've got some tubing somewhere. So I'll just take that needle off. I've just got some tubing. This is for fish tanks. It's airline, and it fits on there. Okay, let's fill this up. It's not very green, this this fluid that comes with it. Like I say, I won't personally be using this. I'll be using some distilled water and putting my own biocides in, and I will bring a video up showing you how to make your own coolant, and it's a lot cheaper and it's actually a lot better than this stuff. So one of the first problems that you're going to have filling this up is you've got no indication of how full it is. So I'm just gonna keep going. Now this is just an old power supply. There we go. Should really turn it off while I'm doing this, but to hell with it. Well, it's in. I have to use my torch because you won't be able to quite see. Pump is running now. After installing it, it was a messing about because it was all connected. But it's all in now. Now they don't give you enough long screws to connect to do a push and pull on this, so I've had to use 2 long screws to connect this fan onto there, and then the other 2 long screws to go through there to connect that fan onto there. So I'm gonna have to get some more screws so I can do a push and pull. They give you a couple of small ones as well. Them there, I think they're just for connecting the fan onto the radiator, but they won't go all the way down. They're not long enough, so I'm gonna have to get some more of them. So that's another thing. If you want to push and pull, you're gonna have to buy some extra long screws. But that'll do for now, just to show you it. So it's all up and running. You can still see the odd bubbles still passing through the tube. I've got the lid off the top of the pump as well, so when the air comes through the tubes, it basically comes out so no pressure builds up. And then when you see a load of bubbles going through the tube into the pump, just put a bit more fluid in, and then put the lid on it and give the whole case a good shake. I've just give it a good shake and a load of air bubbles come out the radiator, so I'm going to keep doing that until no more bubbles come out. Okay, so it's been around about 45 minutes and it's just not moving from 47. There you can see my fan speeds. It's just not moving from 47. It hasn't even gone over to 48. So it's definitely an improvement, and I'll show you how much of an improvement it is by showing you the heatsink that I had originally to cool. Okay, so this was a heatsink I originally had. I was getting around about 65, 6, around about 60 Celsius with this on full load, and now I'm getting 47, as you can see, on full load. So that's a massive improvement. Okay then, so I've just changed the the liquid coolant to my own mix, which is distilled water, and I shall just show you the chemicals that you put in. Is this stuff. It's so anything doesn't corrode inside. I mean, it won't anyway because it's all copper, but it's always best to put that on. I put 5 drops of this into 1 litre of distilled water, and I've also put 5 drops of this stuff into it as well. So that's 5 drops of this, 5 drops of that into a litre of distilled water. Don't use anything else apart from distilled water. If you can't find it, like I couldn't, nowhere sells it where I live, so you can make it yourself, distilled water. Just look online. You basically boil some water in a pan and collect the steam. Just Google it and it'll show you how to do it. And I've just put it in here now, and you're not going to believe it, but it actually is giving me even better temperatures than the really expensive stuff that you buy online. And really the only difference between this coolant and the coolant I've made is that my coolant hasn't got no dye in it, so that dye is definitely doing something to the temperatures. So I'll just show you. I'm running the same test, and as you can see I'm getting 41. I can't remember what my last ones was, but I know it was a bit higher than that. That's a massive improvement just by using the coolant without no dyes in. So I'll definitely be using that, and it's cheaper as well. It just takes 10 minutes of your time to make your own coolant. So I recommend you do that. And it's non-conductive. I mean, after about 6 months, whether you buy the shop coolant or you make your coolant, it will after 6 to 8 months be conductive again. So I mean, the stuff you make is non-conductive, but after about 6 to 8 months it does turn conductive again. That's why you have to empty it out and replace it. And if you do it, and obviously it's going to become expensive using this stuff, so just make your own. And well, it's only going to cost you, I mean, these cost me £5 each, so it's only going to, and look, I've got loads left. I mean, this loop didn't even use a litre of it. It used about, I'd say about half of this bottle. That's how much coolant is in this loop. So I've got some left over that I'm just going to chuck away, because when I need some more, I can just make some. So it's 5 drops of that, 5 drops of that in a litre, 1 litre of distilled water. Don't get anything else apart from distilled water, or just make some yourself if you can't find it. And it's as easy as that, and it's all running. I think the reason why it's giving me better temperatures, because this stuff that you buy is it's like an oily texture. It's really thick, so the pump can't pump it round as fast as it can with distilled water. Obviously because they've put dyes in this stuff and God knows what else. But all you need is a biocide that stop algae growing in your water, and this stuff just stops anything rusting, and that is it. And like I say, I'll just check the temperatures again. Here we go, 41 CPU. It's been about half an hour now, so I don't reckon I'm going to get any higher than that. So there we go. I think this proves it really. And I'm only using an 120mm radiator on it, straight back to the pump. Obviously if I start adding the graphics card into the loop and stuff, temperatures might go up a bit, but yes, a definite improvement. And it is absolutely silent. I mean, these fans are only just running. If I was to turn these fans up, you'd get even better temperatures, but I mean, that's fine for me. I mean, all 4 cores are at 100% at the minute, running at 4.10 gigahertz. and I'm getting a temperature of 41. So that's more than fine. That's below 50. So that's great. So there we go, guys.